Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a deep technical battle that's going to define the future of the internet. We're talking about sovereign versus based rollups. It really all comes down to one question. Should a new network be its own independent nation or a loyal territory of a larger empire?
Okay, let's just get right into it, because how you answer this question is at the absolute heart of one of the biggest, most important debates happening in crypto today. So, to really get what this fight is all about, you gotta understand the problem they're trying to solve. And the problem is that old-school monolithic blockchains, well, they're hitting a serious wall.
See, a single network trying to do all four of these jobs at once, execution, settlement, consensus, and data availability, it just can't keep up. It doesn't scale. So the solution is modularity, right? Break these jobs apart. But when you do that, it creates a brand new power vacuum, which leads to the big question, who's in charge now?
And this is where things get really interesting. This split, this fragmentation of power, it has created two totally different philosophies, two completely different blueprints for how we should build our decentralized future. First up, let's talk about the revolutionaries, the sovereign rollups. These guys view the main blockchain, the layer 1, as nothing more than a public bulletin board. It's a place to post data, sure, but it is not a place to ask for permission. Think about it like this. It's like an independent country that uses the global postal service to mail letters around. It uses the service, but it enforces its own laws back home. The real power? It stays with its own citizens, the nodes and the users of that network. And this process shows their philosophy perfectly. The layer 1 just guarantees that, yep, the data was published in a certain order, but it's the rollup's own network, its own nodes that decide what that data actually means. If a transaction is bogus, the nodes just ignore it. Simple as that.
Okay, but where this autonomy really matters is when things go wrong. So let's imagine a total catastrophe. A massive hack drains millions from a DeFi protocol on the rollup. What happens next is what it's all about. A sovereign rollup, because it's its own nation-state, can literally choose to rewrite its own history. It can fix a massive injustice by social consensus, all without ever having to ask permission from the big layer 1. That is their ultimate superpower.
All right, so that's one camp. Now let's go to the complete other side of this philosophical divide. Here we have the loyalists, the based rollups. These guys believe the safest, most secure path forward is total 100% alignment with the main layer 1.
You can think of these as the federal territories of the blockchain world. They don't have their own separate government for ordering things. Nope. They rely entirely on the federal government, the L1, for all their security and law enforcement.
Notice what's missing here? There's no separate sequencer for the rollup. The whole process is just handed over to the layer 1. So as long as the main network is up and running, the rollup is up and running. It's completely dependent, and you know what? That's the whole point.
So why would you do this? Well, the trade-off is pretty straightforward. They give up some of their autonomy, some of their own revenue, in exchange for the absolute gold standard security and liveness of the base layer, like Ethereum. It's basically a payment for protection.
But there's a big catch that comes with this loyalty: speed. I mean, if you have to wait for an L1 block to finalize, which can take 12 seconds on Ethereum, just to know your transaction went through, well, that's a terrible user experience, right? So, the solution is this really clever idea: a market for promises. They're called pre-confirmations, or precons for short. And what they do is give users that feeling of an instant transaction, all while keeping the full-throated security of the layer 1.
Here's how it works. It creates this high-speed lane for transactions that's enforced by a very simple, very brutal rule. Break your promise, and you lose your money.
And this is what makes the whole thing work: slashing. It is the enforcement mechanism. It's a hard economic guarantee. If a validator breaks their promise, like you see on the left, their staked money is automatically destroyed. Gone. This is what turns a simple promise into a credible, near-instant confirmation.
Okay, so we've got our independent nations on one side and our federal territories on the other. Let's put them head-to-head and see how they really stack up. When you look at it like this, you see the choice really boils down to a fundamental trade-off. Just look at that response to hacks row. A sovereign rollup can use a social fork to fix things, while a based rollup is totally bound by the L1 rules. So what do you prefer? Social flexibility or rigid, objective security? There's really no single right answer.
But you know, in crypto, things are never that black and white.
The line between these two camps is already starting to get a little fuzzy, and we're seeing hybrid models pop up that try to get the best of both.
Enter the based sovereign rollup. It's this fascinating hybrid that tries to get the best of both worlds. It uses the layer 1 for ordering, which is great for preventing censorship, but it keeps local control over what's actually considered valid. It's a really cool compromise that proves this debate is far from over.
So in the end, you have two grand competing visions. The first is the sovereign vision, this idea of an internet of blockchains. It's a future with thousands of interconnected, totally independent digital nations, a sprawling ecosystem that prioritizes freedom and flexibility above all else.
And then you have the based vision, which is more like a single, massive global supercomputer. A future where one incredibly secure base layer is the foundation for everything, where all the applications are unified and aligned with that single source of truth for maximum security.
This whole debate, it's not just about tech. It's really a battle for the very soul of decentralization itself, and the outcome is anything but certain. So the real question for all of us is, will our digital future be built on independent nations or on one unified empire? That's what's at stake.